Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Technito sponsored webinar. Today's topic is how to choose an evergreen IT career. Hope you're all doing good. Today's topic is how to choose an evergreen IT career, and our speaker is Mr. Vinod. He is having 20 plus years of experience from various enterprises like CSC, HCL, HP, etc. Welcome, Mr. Vinod. Before starting, let me tell you about Technito. It was a company which was registered in 2012, and now we are rebranding it as Technito. And before starting the session, let me tell you some points. We'll be enabling the chat. If you have any questions or queries, you can very well comment in the chat box. Or at last, at the end of the session, you'll be getting an interactive time for asking questions. Fine, you can raise your hand or comment in the chat box. Mr. Vinod will be addressing all the questions. Fine. Over to you, Mr. Vinod. Welcome.
Thank you, Darshana. Thanks for that introduction. Yeah, and let me just quickly share the presentation and start off. I hope you all can see the screen. Okay, good. Okay, so good evening, everyone. I hope you all are safe during this pandemic period, and also recently we had a big storm in Chennai, and I have very shabby internet and some power disconnect, but I already have all the redundancy in place. So let's quickly start. Okay, let me thank Technito to invite me for this session. And the topic they have given to me is a pretty easy one because I'm going to just share my experience. Not much of preparation was required, but still I have brought in some facts and features around it. Okay, so how to choose the perfect IT job? I think this is a yeah. Okay, fine. So let me just quickly get into the webinar. Okay, I hope you all can see the screen. Let me welcome all superheroes who have taken time today because Saturday, 6 o'clock is a very prime time, right? You might be sitting in front of the television or watching the movie, spending time with your family, but you chose to spend time with me for next 1.5 hours. So I'm very much responsible to make sure that this time is spent very qualitatively, and I will give you all the information what is possible, and I will share those information. Okay. So you are going to be a superheroes at the end of the session. Once you get this knowledge, you can pass it on to others as well. And please make sure that after attending the session, you adopt at least few of these items which you feel you can take forward in your career and get an IT job. So when Technito approached me, they told me that there are few of the registrants who are freshers and few of the registrants are in non-technical background. They are like professors and working in a non-technical background. They want to enter into IT. So can you suggest something where people can easily get into the IT field? So keeping that in mind, I have found a method where you can follow through and get there. Okay, so that's what it is. So let me go to introduce. I'm going to introduce myself in the first part to show that on what capacity I'm delivering this, so that you have faith on the points that I'm going to deliver. Okay, IT entry. So how you can enter into IT? So normally when you are entering into IT, there are going to be 3 steps. Okay, there are three modes. One is like you will be entering as a developer. So most of the training centers will be giving you Java, .NET kind of training to enter you into IT. The another one is the administrators. Like you can become a system administrator, like a Unix administrator, Windows administrator, DB administrator. So that is the second route. Third route is going to be primarily like testing. Yeah, so these are 3 technical areas where you can enter into IT. So I'm not going to choose the developer and the testing role because wherever you go to a training center, primarily they will ask you to join a course on Java, .NET, or ask you to join a testing course. I'm going to take a different path because normally it's a very untouched, right? When you go and ask for a sysadmin, even the training institute says no, that's not a right area to go. You go to Java, .NET. But I'm going to have a shift because this is the right way of getting inside IT. Because when you get into a sysadmin, you will have a thought that where will I reach, what position I will have. So I'm having a career path. I'm going to tell you what is my career path, how did I grow from a sysadmin to this level, And I also am going to tell you that what futuristically you can also do it. Okay. And I'm going to tell you about the milestones. Okay. So milestone is something like I have over 20 years of experience. So how I reached to this place in 20 years. Before me, people took 30 years to reach here. I took 20 years to reach here. Probably after attending the session, you can reach in 15 years or 10 years. So the milestones varies from people to people. I'll set my milestones and you can fast track it. Okay. So I'll tell you how to fast track the career. For me, it took 6, 7 years to understand how to fast track. I'm going to explore that, whatever my findings are to you. So that was definitely going to help. Ultimately, the last interview tips, why I'm saying this is people always have a mindset that when I'm learning something, will I get a job? So I'm going to tell you what are the tips and tricks that you should know and how easy it is to get a job as a result. Okay, so this is the overall agenda of the session. Hope you enjoy the session, and whenever you have a query, I can speak 4 different languages, so English, Malayalam, Tamil, and Hindi. Please do raise your questions on your language. I will try to address in the same language possible. And I will also translate in English for the benefit of the others who are part of the session. Okay. So all the best, guys. So let's start rocking the stage. So as I said, I'm going to introduce myself. So what you see on screen is my profile. Okay. So I have 21 years of IT experience. Okay. After my college, I got campus interviewed and I got placed in Excel Infosystems as a system engineer in the year 2000. So it is way long. In the 2000, I joined as a system engineer. For 5 years, I worked there and I moved to HP. HP, I become a system design engineer. It's more of a Unix engineering. That's what my core area was. I was working over the R&D labs of HP. So I got a very good hands-on experience. From system administration, I elevated myself to the Unix research and development part. Then I joined CSE for around 9.5 years. I spent my time with Computer Science Corporation, which is now called a DXC. I'm very fortunate. Yeah, I want to say that I'm very fortunate to work with CSE. The reason being, I was working very closely with the CTO office. Okay, so there's a lot of knowledge that I can gain, a lot of new technologies that came in the market. I can put my hands onto it. So it was a very nice experience working in CSE, where I was an architect and I gradually moved up the career ladder to become a principal architect. So around 14, 15 architects were working under me, and we are the ones who designed the architecture for CSE data center and our clients. Okay, so a wonderful experience there. And now currently working with Sensible, I am the director and the BU head, business unit head for Infra and Cloud. And so I've reached a stage that now I'm into business and technology. And beyond this is going to be the next role awaiting would be a CTO, like the Chief Technology Officer. So that's how my career progression is in the last 20 years. So I'm going to speak on a topic that is my career, is what is going to be an example for this session. Okay. So I'm going to give my all good decisions and some of the bad decisions which I've gone through. So you can also grab a few of the insights from my career, and you can take all the good ones and don't make the bad decisions what I made, and you can progress further. Yeah. So what you see on the screen is my profile, and that's what the speaker, Mr. Vinod, and myself is. Yeah. Okay. So you can always connect with Technito and connect with me if you need anything. I'm always there to help. So let's go with the next slide. Okay, as I told you, there are 3 areas when you get into IT, right? So there are 3 entry points. Normally, when you go to a training institute, people would be giving you 3 entry points. Ideally, they would suggest you Java.NET, like programming languages. And the next thing would be like, if you say, I don't know programming, I cannot write program, I'm not good at it and all this, then they suggest, why not take testing? Testing is a very evergreen area, why not go testing? And they start persuading you to get into testing. People don't suggest system administration. The reason being, like people think that it's tough and it's a kind of a very rudimentary job. So this is all some of the myths that is available in the market. Okay, so we are trying to just I'm going to do a myth busting for you. So just trying to make sure that what is right as a system administrator, why it is easy, and what is the scope of work that you can get in sysadmin, and what is the current job. So I will put a lot of factuals on the upcoming slide. First, let me tell you what is sysadmin and where you can work. Okay. As far as system admin is concerned, it's an evergreen job. So as long as things are there in the data centers or it is on your cloud, still there are possibilities that you have to work manage the systems, right? Whether it is a physical or virtual, you have to manage the system. So definitely, there's a large scope for people to get job on system administration. Please please go to Naukri, Monster, and check for sysadmin jobs. You will find that tons of sysadmin jobs listed there. Okay, there's a dire need, and there are very less resources out in the market who has that ability to get the job. Second, if you see that there are a lot of on-site, offshore opportunities are there. There are a lot of opportunities that you can go to the data center in the US, data center in Europe, data center in Australia, and go and work there. So you can work on the place where the servers are physically kept, or you can work from remote. From here, you can connect. So when I was in HP, I was managing 13 clients data center in US from here. Okay, so you can do even a remote management of the servers as well. So considering the pandemic, there are a lot of work from home options there. Even now, we are working from here and connecting to our servers across the globe. Okay, so the opportunity for sysadmin doesn't mean that you have to go and work on the physical servers. You can do a remote hands-on as well. Okay, so if you take sysadmin, there are two major categories, I would say. One is the service desk function. Service desk is primarily, I would say, not a pure technical thing, but a level of work would be there on the technical side, but it's all documented. We call SOPs, standard operating procedure. So we use the standard operating procedure to follow through the process, and then we just execute. Another is called the data center, where we are working with the real servers, real storage, real network, so which needs some kind of upskilling. Okay, I'll tell you what courses you have to go and get that, so that you can upskill yourself to that level. So I want to tell you what kind of jobs it would be. Okay, so as once you get the job, your life is going to be more free. Why I'm saying that is, see, as far as IT sysadmin is concerned, it's primarily a process. Okay, they will define a well-defined process, like for level 1, level 2, level. I'll tell you what are those levels are. As a level 1 engineer, what you're supposed to do, that's a process. You have to just follow through the process. Once you are done with the process, whether the issue is solved or not, you need not worry. You just move or escalate to the next level. So that's the kind of job you are going to look at in the initial stages. Once you cross that level, then you get into level 2, level 3, where you will be doing some level of troubleshooting and so. Okay, and it's more of 24/7 shifts. When I say 24/7, don't have panic. It's more like you will be working only 8 hours. Only if you are handling customers in US or Australia, when they have different time zones, then you have to work on those shift time. In our office, we have most of the people working on 9 to 6. Okay, so these questions may come on the HR side as well. So you need not worry. When you say 24/7, you can calmly wait, and the shifts will be applicable for few and may not be applicable for many. Okay, so as far as a quick introduction about the system administration, which I'm going to speak in detail on the coming up slides. Okay, and when you have any questions, you can type on the chat. Because I will be covering most of your queries on the go itself. That's what I prepared my slide decks. Yeah, so fine. So in the previous slide, I was telling you about the different tiers or different levels of system administrator. Okay, so normally tier 0 or level 0 is considered to be the very self-support. Like what we normally do is like help when you have any issues. You can go there and it will automatically does the work for you, right? Something like you have a password issue, you can say forget password and reset the password on your own. So end user themselves will fix the issue. Is called tier 0. Okay, and tier 1 is something like the solving the basic issues. So level 1, from here on, we are going to hire people like you to position on the service desk, and you will be managing the show. Okay, so what we do in the tier 1 is we'll be solving the basic issues, answering the general questions. Okay, so normally we have the SOPs in place. So whenever a customer calls you or whenever a customer emails you or they raise a ticket, you will be just making sure that you are following the process and giving them a response. So it's a very easy job. Say tier 2, over here by this time, yeah, when you are in level 1, you will have some time to do a lot of study. So this is the time and the milestones I will tell you how you have to focus and what programs you have to study so that you can get there. Okay. Once you get the knowledge on that specific subject, you can take a route whether you have to become a database engineer or you have to become a network engineer, so that you can take that route where your passion is, and you can become a level 2 engineer on that specific domain. Okay. And what happens in level 3 is something like you're handling some advanced problems. So some problems which are not documented, which is not been trained, you will have to take that steps, and you will be learning those thing, and you will be using your skills to reach there. Okay, so and solving the problem. So that kind of work is called level 3. Level 4 is not done by us. It is done by the hardware vendor or the software vendor. Like if it's Oracle, we have to raise to Oracle, and Oracle will do it. So you're getting job on Oracle, you will be the level 4 for that company. Okay. So this is the levels of support that normally we see in the industry. So it is a plain pretty forward. The first 5 or 6 years you will be climbing the level 1, level 2, level 3 stage. So I'll tell you how to fast track those things. Okay. Okay, let's see some of the types of sysadmins that's available in the market. I hope you all can see my screen. I'm on slide number 6. Okay, you all can see my screen. Okay, perfect. Fine. So there are different types of sysadmins in the market. Okay, so what you do is like one, you already know there are a lot of hardware maintenance, right? So people do server, desktop, printer. So this is one kind of system admin. I normally feel that when you have that knowledge, you should understand the hardware first. Once you get to know what is a RAM, what is CPU, what is memory, so you get a very fair understanding on the concepts above it. So I'm not saying that hardware maintenance is a very degraded system admin job. If you know hardware, then learning other things are pretty easy. Okay, so one level of sysadmins are called hardware maintenance engineers, or hardware system admin. Okay, where you'll be looking for people in servers, um, storage, network, those kind of physical device management. The next one is called OS management. So this is the one area where there's a lot of opportunities there. OS management is something like you would have heard about Microsoft Windows, Linux, IBM AX. So different operating systems are there, which are installed on these servers, right? So these management. So we are called platform engineers or operating system engineers. Okay. So these engineers are very much wanted in the market, and it's slightly scarce. People may get trained, but they are not being trained by professionals. Okay, you go to a training center, you might be getting a trainer. The trainer may not be having any hands-on experience. He is also another trained guy, so that will not fulfill the need. Okay, so the OS management is one another right area where you can find a lot of jobs. And what is trending today is cloud, right? So there's a lot of AWS, Azure, OpenStack. So cloud is one of the hot subject in the market. Again, when you say you are a cloud administrator, cloud engineer, cloud architect, that itself will take you to the very next level. Okay, so that's another very what you call specialization. Whatever I'm going to tell now is all specialized administrators, cloud administrators. Database administrator, you would have heard about MySQL and Oracle, big data. Okay, these are database administrators. This is also an administration part where we are dealing with database. So here you can take a path. You can take that DB, which is again a slightly highly paid area, because you're dealing with data. You will get a very good pay. Yeah, I'll show you the pay scale in the coming up slide. Security administrator in IT, security is a mandate that whatever you are doing in an IT infrastructure, whether it's a hardware, OS, database, application, security is the key. Okay, so security administrators also are very much in demand in the market. So you can also pursue a path. Once you get into the sysadmin, then you can think of specializing yourself as a security administrator. Okay. Network administrator, you know what is network, right? So there are a lot of networking things are there. Now they are not much physical networking. A lot of virtual network has come into market. Software defined network is in the market. So specializing on the network part also will pay you much. And IT automation is more like DevOps. Okay, you would have heard DevOps. DevOps is also very hot in the market. You add DevOps into your resume, people will be calling you for a job. Okay, so DevOps. So these are some of the different system administration jobs that are available in the market. Okay, fair enough. Let me tell you what are the pay packages. Okay, what is the pay scale in India? Okay, so if you can see the screen where I got some of the screenshots of pay scale. Okay, for different jobs. So if you see the very first one, I have taken the system administrator jobs pay scale in India. You will find that an average when you are joining as a system admin, the average pay, okay, it is roughly around 4 lakh rupees. Okay, your starting pay itself is 4 lakh. You see the graph below, 10% of them have said that they are to a 2 lakh rupees package. And there is roughly a very major chunk. The blue ones say they are getting around 4 lakh. So the median says you're going to get 4 lakh rupees and other perks like bonuses, commission, and all this, whatever the additional thing. But average basic sysadmin salary is 4 lakh rupees. When you get into the average salary of a senior system admin, so just imagine another 3 to 5 years, you upskill yourself and you reach a senior system administrator. Your salary will be 75% hike. Like you see, you are 4 lakh before, it is now roughly around 7 lakh. Okay, your salary, average salary will become 7 lakh. And if you see the other skill set, like you see database administrator, DBA salary is the starting itself around 5 lakh. So normal sysadmin is 4 lakh. DBA, basic sysadmin will get around 5 lakh. So when you become senior DBA, you might be getting much more on that. And when you say cloud computing, okay, see, as I told you, cloud and DevOps are very hot in the market. When you say cloud, your salary itself starts at 6 lakh. Okay, there are a lot of companies like Asper Systems and on, they are looking for cloud guys and DevOps guys. If you see the cloud and DevOps, you will find that their salary itself like 6 lakhs and 7 lakhs, right? So these are the right places. After sysadmin, within 2 to 3 years, go to the trending technology, upskill yourself, and you can reach much faster than what I have reached in last. And if you are a cloud engineer, you will get around 7 lakh 94, which is roughly around 8 lakh rupees is the average salary for a cloud engineer. And cyber security engineer, if you are doing CCSP and all this, you will get a 6 lakh rupees salary. And for normal network engineer, you are just starting with the CCNA and all this very basic networking, you will start with salaries around 3.2 lakh median. So what I have showed you is on the payscale.com, you can go and search and see what is the salary. As far as sysadmin is concerned, the starting salary is by average, it is okay and median. But if you show your skills, if you add skills, if you add certifications, you add accreditations, your salary will be hiked in a much or higher level, because you are handling the very core of the environment, right? You're handling the hardware, you're handling the operating system, database. So because of the criticality of the handling, your salary will be on much higher. At the same time, the job security is also is there. Okay. Another big question that people ask is on the age, education, and skill. Okay, so if you see the age, people will say that no, I already crossed 10 years doing a professor job, or I already crossed 15, 20 years doing some other work. What is the age criteria? Is there any eligibility for age? That's one of the question asked. So if you see the age criteria, there is no age criteria for systems. Okay, more the age, more the experience, more likely that you will be hired. Okay. At the same time, when you are fresher, company thinks that you can be paid less, so you will be again hired. So age is not at all a factor when you are starting a career as a sysadmin. Okay, but whenever you're doing as Java, .NET, and all, you have to have some kind of hands-on experience before they hire. So, but when it comes to sysadmin, the expectation is when they ask you a question, I will tell you how the questions will be asked and how you have to respond to those. Okay, and promoting to next level. Okay, so that's the one thing. When you add up more skills, the chance of promoting to the next level is there. But I have some of my friends, okay, when I joined in 2005 with HP, at that time I have a few of my friends who are working in US. Yeah, I'm saying the US counterparts, not Indians. They are the US guys. They started as sysadmin, and after 15 years, if I'm connecting with them, they are still a system admin and senior system admin. They don't want to change their career. They are very happy with what they are doing. Yeah, every year they're getting a salary hike, and they are happy doing what they are doing. Okay, so it is up to you whether you want to grow up the ladder or you are happy, because it's all about a human mindset. Whether I'm happy with what I'm doing, you can stay there. If you feel that I'm not happy, I want to do more, you have to upskill, you have to put some effort, and you can grow up the ladder. Okay, so growing up the ladder doesn't mean that you are really growing. If you're staying in the same place and still happy is also good. Okay, so as far as the next level that is concerned, it's up to you whether you want to upskill and grow up the ladder. And people also think that I don't have an engineering degree, so will I be able to join an IT company? Sorry. So engineering degree is not a mandate at all. Okay, because in last 6-7 years, when we are hiring diploma grad, we are hiring BCA guys, we are hiring non-technical background guys. The reason being, when they get trained, when they get upskilled, when they have the real knowledge on the system admin, then the degree doesn't matter at all. Okay, if you are an engineering grad, it will be helping you when you are a fresher. While hiring, we will be looking at your educational qualification, because that's what you have. But when years pass by, you might be a professor, you might be something, but you can always say that in your college labs, you are doing, you are the one handling the systems in your college. And when I ask you the question, you are able to respond back all the sysadmin tasks, then that's it. You are hired. Okay. So that doesn't make a requirement that you should be an engineering grad. Okay. So you just come out of this dilemma that there is nothing called an engineering grad only can get a IT job. And people will have another fear, whether communication and soft skills, right? So when I come to communication and soft skills, we used to say that should I have a good communication because I know only my native language, I cannot converse in English. See, in IT, especially sysadmin job, the first 3 or 5 years, right? If you are not client facing, you are not going to communicate with anyone. You will be communicating only with your friends who are just next to you, and most of your communication with the client will be done by the tech lead or manager. Okay, and even you want to communicate something through your customer, it will be a templated email. You have to just fill an email and you will be sending it across, right? So communication is not a barrier at all. So you have to come out of the fear. My age is not a criteria. The education is not a criteria. Communication is not a criteria for SysApp. So you can pick and choose this particular section, this particular entry point into IT, where you can easily get through an IT job, and you can develop the skills that is required to go up the ladder. Okay. Let's quickly see the career path. Okay. So I'm going to show you my career path, and from there I'll tell you how you can take it. Sorry. So if you see that I put a y-axis as a promotion, and on the x-axis as the years of experience. Okay. So if you see that I have the years of experience, you can start your career anytime. It can be just after your college, or it can be after 5 years, or 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, anytime that you choose. You can start your career at any point. Later, what you do is you start your career as a sysadmin. So what happens as a sysadmin is you can continue your life as a sysadmin all throughout. As I told you, as one of my friends is doing that last 15, 20 years, you can also continue. This dotted line says that you can continue your life throughout as a sysadmin. But if you show your communication skill and you also upskill, you can grow to the next level, which is a team lead or a service delivery manager. So that's the possibly a next possible role, the ladder, that you can become a service delivery manager, managing clients, managing customers. Then you become architect. Okay, there is a different levels of architect, system architect, technical architect, and a lot of architects are there. You can become architect where you get a very heterogeneous knowledge on all the IT things. Then you can become an architect and continue your life as an architect. And what happens would be like if there's a need of an IT director. Okay, you might be heading your IT team who is going to handle your data center, service desk, so on and so forth. Yeah. So in those places, you can raise yourself as the head of IT. Okay. So who will become head of IT is the system administrator who joined a few years back. I would say a few years is 5 years or 10 years. It's not enough. Around 10, 15 years, who has a heterogeneous knowledge on the entire, the homogeneous knowledge on the entire structure, will become the director of IT. Once this stage is complete, the next stage would be the CTO, Chief Technology Officer. It's like a CEO of technology. Okay, he is a Chief Executive Officer of technology, who is going to decide on the company's technology investment and what technology the company has to take forward. So I'm heading towards that CTO part. So I started like sysadmin. Now my path is almost at reaching to a CTO level. So this is an example for you. When you start the sysadmin, you become a CTO. But when you take your career as a developer or tester, you getting to the CTO level is slightly complex. The reason being, you are Java.NET guy, you know only that technology stack, the development stack. And when you end up as a CTO, you have to take a lot of decisions around the environment, the infrastructure, right? Which is not possible for a Java.NET person. Yeah, so that's the reason. The possibility of becoming a CTO is very high for a system administrator guy who evolves to become a CTO. Okay. So I'm going to show you the milestones. What I'm showing you now as a milestone is my career milestone, which you can fast track. Okay, by adding more skills, you can accelerate and you can get to a higher level at a faster pace. Okay. See, as I show you here, the first 5 years you have to be a sysadmin. Why I'm saying that is the time you learn about the process. That's the time you learn about the technology. Okay, where you have to have your foundation very strong. So at this stage, in the first 5 years, you have to do ITL foundation. When you're a system administrator, ITIL is a course that trains you on the processes in how to handle a IT system. Okay, so that will tell you different processes and all this. And the coming up slide, I will tell you what ITL is. So during the first 5 years, you have to mandatorily do the ITL training. The second thing that you have to do is take the professional certification. Like for example, you are going to learn Linux, then take Red Hat certification. If you are learning IBM AX, take the IBM AX certification. So you have to take the professional certifications from the provider. Okay. So these certificates, because once you cross your engineering degree and all this, after 3-4 years, your education qualification doesn't matter. Okay. We are not going to look at your education qualification, but these professional certifications are going to add value to your career. So please make sure that you add many logos to your resume by attending and completing more professional certifications throughout your career. Okay, so that's the first step. The 0 to 5 year, at least 3 years, you have to spend your quality time as a system administrator, learning all process and technology. And then after 5 years, okay, I'm saying 5 years, it can be 3 years for you. After 5 years, you will become team lead or a service delivery manager. Team lead is the guy who manages the team. Service delivery manager is also have a client facing role. You will connect with the client and make sure the delivery things are being handled. Delivery in the sense there is no escalation and everything is been well managed. Okay, so when you want to get to that, okay, there's another course, the ITL. It's called ITL intermediary level. Okay, so you can take a ITL transition or ITL operations management. You can take a specific intermediary course and get certified. Again, that is a very easy thing to do. They're not tough. Once you start working, process will be imbibed in your work. By doing a certification, it adds value. So put an ITL intermediate certification to your resume. And also do the certification on the advanced levels, like a high availability, like clustering solution, big data. Do some certifications on the advanced level on these years, so that that will be a stepping stone for you to the next to become an architect. Okay. So what you do as an architect is you have to do a lot of architect level certification. If you see AWS gives you associate certificate, professional architect certificate, and all. Do all the architect level certifications and those 8 to 15 years. At this point in time, you are the guy who's actually planning. Execution will be done by the guys below. So more than hands-on, the understanding, the foundation, the conceptual knowledge has to be there for the architects. That will come only if you do the architect level learning and applying those plans. Okay. And in terms of process is concerned, do the ITL master level certification. Because why I'm saying this is when you want to become a department head or a director of IT, where you should have a broad knowledge about the process from beginning to end, right? So do the master level certification on ITL, and you do some of the architect level certification. Okay. Once you reach the director level, okay, now the learning is a very different style. Here you are not going to do certifications and so on. What you are going to do is you are just chasing the trending technologies in the market. Like for example, when I am on those stages, like when I come to my 15 years, when I joined as a department head for IT, what I was doing is I was looking at what is trending. DevOps is trending, so everything getting automated. Service desk is automated. Chatbot getting automated. So what we have done is we tried to see what is trending in the market. We incorporated that. Okay. So when you become director, you have to see that what is trending in the market, and you have to go a bit deeper, understand, and get it executed with your team. When it becomes CTO, okay, you cannot learn deeper. But all trending technologies, you should be updated. You should know what is happening, what is there today, and what is going to come tomorrow. This also should be in your learning list. Okay. Only then you can reach a CTO level. You should know what is trending and what is also going to be the futuristic technology that is going to come in. You should be well aware of. Then you become a CTO. So this is a milestone I have said, but I leave it to you. You can fast track it or you can expand. There's nothing wrong. See, everybody's running on their own time scale. Okay. You can take this in 25 years, 30 years, not a problem. Even if you are fast tracking and making it in 15 years or 10 years also, not a problem. So I'm just setting a small milestone chart for you. You can pick up from here and you can take it to the next level. Okay. And another question that mostly frequently asked is, I go to a training center and get trained on the skills. Will that be enough? Okay. Ideally, that is how people will get trained themselves. So there's nothing wrong. But what I have seen in my personal experience, because I also go to training institutes and get trained, right? So when I go to a training institute and I look at the trainer has never worked in any company. Okay, he was a student in that institute for a time, and then he learned it, and then he is training us, or he might have got trained from that particular like Red Hat or somebody, and then he with that knowledge he is training us. So no real time hands-on experience he can share it to you. So when you are getting a training, please make sure who the trainer is, whether he has a work experience on that domain, so that he can give you real-time issues. Otherwise, it will be more bookish knowledge will be given, right? So when you are looking for a training, you always look at the support stack. Okay, that training, the institution or the person who is going to train you is not only just a trainer but also a coach. Why I say a coach is somebody who can attend to you and correct you and solve all your queries if you have any doubts or if you need any clarification. That guy is always a coach, a person who can mentor. Yeah, so we can call him a mentor, who can be there for you and suggest you the right ways of getting things done. Okay, your sysadmin job is something like you may encounter something at work, and you have no solution on Google. What you will do, you will just connect to that mentor and get the help. So when you are looking at the support stack, make sure that the institution or the trainer is reachable, to make sure that guy is able to coach you. And also there should be collaboration form, because what is collaboration is something like when you're going and attending a training and there are 10 other people joining from different places. If there's a platform, when you have a doubt, you can post that on that forum and people can come and address to it, right? So you should make sure that when you are attending any sessions or any institute, please make sure that they also give you a forum where you can collaborate and get more knowledge. Okay, and consulting is something like people like freshers or non-technical background, they need a bit of extra guidance to get into IT job. Sometimes like on your resume there might be some keywords to be added. Sometimes in interview they might be asked some questions for which they need answers. Yeah, so it's not cracking the interview. Okay, it's like how to find answers to the interview questions, why they are asking this question and how we have to respond. So this is a complete career stack that you have to understand or get through when you are looking for a upskilling. Okay, so that's what I was showcasing on this particular slide. Okay, so there are a lot of things that you can do. As I told you that you can learn database, security, network, and so on. But for the time's sake and for everybody's benefit, I handpicked operating system and cloud as the best option to start with. Why I'm saying this is, see, learning an operating system is pretty easy. Okay, but normally people think that learning an operating system is tough. But I'm going to showcase you how it is easy, because I came through that path. So I'm going to give my example. See, if you see that on the left side, there are a lot of operating systems listed, right? So Linux is there, Ubuntu is there, Red Hat is there, Debian is there. So a lot of Linux flavors and a lot of proprietary Unix. So, proprietary Unix is more like from HP Unix, IBM AX, they are called proprietary. So all these Unix are there. So you might think, would I be learning all this? No, not necessary. Okay. See, all these Unix are flavors of Unix. Okay. So what happens is, you learn one Unix and try to see what are the similarities and what are the differences. Once you see that, you'll find there are a lot of similarities and very less differences there. Once you are able to interpret that thing, then you can add the entire suite of operating system in your resume, which means that you are an operating system guy. Okay, I will show you a few things in the coming up slide. Okay, or I'll also give you a quick demo on it. Once you learn Linux, the same way, the Linux is the foundation stone for cloud, right? Most of the clouds are built on Linux, and even on cloud, the overcloud, the whatever we are getting deployed on cloud is also Linux. 75% of them are Linux and 25% are Windows. That's a statistic. So in cloud also the similar thing. You learn either AWS or Azure or Google or OpenStack, whatever you learn. One learning and look at the similarities and differences. That is the easiness of a system administrator. Because once you learn one technology, then another technology learning is pretty easy. You have to just look at the similarity and the difference. Okay. So what I would suggest is, if you are really good at Linux, learn OpenStack, because OpenStack will give you that undercloud and overcloud, like building the cloud and managing the cloud will be trained on the OpenStack. But you are not that good at Linux and you want to be pretty safe, then learn Amazon, AWS, or Google Cloud or Azure, whatever. So there you're only managing the cloud part. Still, that's a very, as I told you, 7 lakh is what the starting package itself when you get a cloud to your skill set. Okay. So this is what primarily I want to suggest. Please take operating system as a skill to start your IT career, and then progressively move to cloud and automation. Now there is a big question: is learning Unix stuff? Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly show you a. Can you see my notepad? Okay. I'll give you a couple of seconds for the notepad to refresh. Okay, 1 second. I think I have to refresh the screen. So that I can see the content. Okay. I hope you can see the screen now. Fine. So, see, as far as sysadmin is concerned, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to break 1 or 2 myths for you, so that you get a very fair understanding of why it is much easier. Okay. See, if you see why people hesitate to learn Linux or any Unix operating system, because the commands are so big commands, correct? And what is the next thing? Many commands. Okay. So when I say big commands, one of the classic example would be like I'm just going to type a command here. You can see the screen. Like user -u, and I say 101 -g 50 -c, and say Vinod try. I say Vinod director, and say -s bin sh, and I say Vinod. So I'll just make it short. Okay. So when you look at this command, you'll have should I learn this big command? Okay, this is how you feel. Okay, but when you look at the same thing can be achieved just by doing user add. It does the same thing, but most of the thing will be defaulted. Okay, so when we are training or when we are coaching people, we always use the real world examples. Okay, you know what is a real world example is? A real world example is something like you go to a hotel, right, and you are ordering something. Let me take an example of dosa. Okay, so a server comes to you and asks you, so what do you like to take? Give me an order. Okay, so normally you are the master and server is somebody who's going to take order. So what you say is, I want dosa. So dosa is a command, right? When you say dosa, they will go and get 2 ghee dosa, right? So by default, when you say order dosa, they'll get 2 ghee dosa. But what you want is masala dosa, right? So what we are going to give in bigger commands is we are giving the options and arguments. Anything that is with hyphen is called option. So I can say hyphen masala, and I say 2, which means I want 2 masala dosa. So when I give a command like give me 2 masala dosa, I get the 2 masala dosa. When I also say that give me chutney green, and I say vada, no. Yeah. So when you give more options and arguments, you have the right order in front of you. Otherwise, what happens? First you say dosa, he brings 2 ghee dosa. You say no, not 2 ghee dosa, give me 2 masala dosa. Then he goes and brings 2 masala dosa. Then you say why you put this chutney, put green chutney. So you have to make multiple orders to get the same things done. But still you will get the right thing. If you can do 10 times and get it done, not a problem. But you can also give the exact command and get it in the very first time itself. Okay. So in Unix, you can work with the bigger commands. We are showing the bigger commands to just to make sure, make the HR feel that, oh, these guys have learned something big, so we have to give them big package. So that's the reason we are showing all the big things. But in reality, sysadmin will have sufficient SLA. Okay, you will have 4 hours to get the work done. You type 1 command, 2 commands, 10 commands, and get the job done. Not a problem at all. Okay. So one thing I'm breaking the myth is no more a big command. It is small, multiple commands also will do. Perfect. Okay, now let's see many commands. Okay, so there are 2 types of users. Okay, one is normal user and another is super user. So in Unix, if you say there are around 800 plus commands for normal user, and there are around 600 plus commands for this user, for super user. So roughly 1,400, 1,500 plus commands are. You may think, oh my God, should I learn all these 1,500 commands? Now, in my 20 years, can you just predict or think how many commands I would have used? I've used hardly 30 to 40 commands. Okay, you know why? As a system administrator, there are two major roles that you do. On one major role, what you do is either you add, remove, modify, list. Correct? This is what your normal system job would. Either you will be adding user, removing user, modifying a user parameter, or changing. Like something I said, user add Vinod, there will be something called user mod Vinod. There's something called user del Vinod. There's something called user list. Okay, so you have to list a user, you'll say user list. So like this, we will be doing only this kind of work. Like you will be adding groups, you'll be adding network, you'll be adding disk, you'll be adding file system, removing disk, removing file system, removing network, modifying this, modifying network. So all add, remove, modify. Okay, and what the command that is going to do is for user group. So it's pretty easier. Okay, learning too many commands is not required. In my career, I used only 40 commands, and out of these 40 commands, again you filter it out. Most of them are add, remove, modify. Okay. So when you become a level 2 guys, you will be working on something slightly advanced. You'll be working with services and starting up, stop. So what you normally do is you will start, you will stop, you will list, and you will restart. Okay. Okay. So what you do normally do, you do a start a service, you will stop a service, you will restart a service, you list what other services are running. So when you see, put this 8 things, 8 actions is what a system is going to do throughout his life. So in front of it or back of it, you prefix or suffix item that you want to do. You want to do a user list or you want to do a start process, say the process name. It's pretty straightforward. Okay, and there's also GUI also is available, but we are very much used to command line. So now, did I break the myth learning Unix stuff? The main thing that comes in your mind is, oh, there's a very big command. I'm telling you, that's not a big command. You can do even a small command, but why we are doing big? That's been given to you. And also, there are too many commands, 1,500 commands. No, there's no 5,500 commands. There's only a few commands that you have to do throughout your life. Other commands and all, there are some inbuilt help pages there where we can get it sorted out. Okay. Good. I'll get back to my slide. Yeah. So if you have any questions, please put into a chat. Okay, so we have covered a major portion of it, right? In the last 45 minutes, we have gone through a lot of things about system administrators and so on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you some eye opener. Okay. So in this session, last 45, 15 minutes, we have gone through what is system administrator and what are the things you have to do, what are the milestones and so on. In next 24 hours, you take it from me, whatever you have learned so far, you will forget it, or 50% of the things will be forgotten. Okay. And in next 48 hours, by Monday evening, you will forget all the 80% of what I have told. Okay. So I've added a couple of more slides, and you just make a note of these slides or screenshot it, or I'll ask the Techno team to share this with you. What you have to do is that 85% of the remaining, which is under the water, is what courses you have to really do to get a job. Okay. The first thing first, IT process. Okay, so this ITL training is there. I'll tell you what is that, and what is system administrator course that you have to do, what system engineer course you have to do, what DevOps or automation engineering course you have to do, what is the basic cloud training you have to do, and what advanced level cloud you can do. So these are the things that I'm going to showcase you in the next few slides, so that you get a pretty good perspective of what you should do. Okay, so please take screenshots or take notes, or you can get the slide deck from Technical. Okay, from the professional level. Okay, so who are 0 to 5 years? The 0 to 5 year doesn't mean that your overall experience. You are going to just start your career into IT, can also be considered into this category. Okay, if you are 0 to 5 year and you are called professional level, at this level, the first course that you have to take is the ITL process training. Okay, in this training, you will be learning about functions. Functions are something like service desk. Okay, So how a service does function, what are the processes inside it, and what are the services that they do, what are the roles and responsibilities they do, and what is an ITL framework, and some of the real-time examples also you should know, like if an issue comes, how you have to react. Okay. After completing this course, please do ITL Foundation certification. This is mandatory. If you do that, there is another 30% weightage for getting a job. So please go through this training and also do the certification. So that is one of the suggestions that I'll do, and this is the first and the foremost thing that you have to take care of. The second one that is coming into play is taking sysadmin job. And why I'm suggesting Linux is one of the hot skill in the market, and which is very widely needed. 75% of the market share is held by Linux. So please take Linux. The Linux is when you go for a training, you'll find there are two trainings. One is basics and advanced. In the basics, what I trained you, what I showed you some time back, it's something like the commands. Okay, you'll be learning about commands. You'll be learning the similarities of the commands between other OSs and the differences in the other OS. And you'll also learn about how to manage a disk, how to create partitions, how to create file systems, how you set permissions, and how will you set IP address for your machine and all this, and a little bit of troubleshooting. So after attending this training, RHCSA, Red Hat Certified System Administrator, is a well-known certification. You do the certification, add the logo to your resume. There's a very good chance of getting a job, irrespective of whether you are a non-techie or fresher. Okay, so please do the certificate. It's a pretty easy exam, and if I say pretty easy exam, it's not that easy as well, but it's all real-time exam. But once you get the foundation knowledge clear from the right trainer, take it from me, the clearing is not a tough thing. Okay, so not only for the certification you are learning, it's for your job. So whatever you're learning, you have to take it throughout your life. The third thing is the advanced Linux. Advanced Linux is more like how you configure servers. Yeah, like how will you configure a web server, how will you configure an FTP server, how will you configure a mail server. So this is what the advanced Linux is going to be, and a lot of security and firewalls. So this learning is very interesting learning. You will be learning more on the server side of things. After completing this training, you please do the Red Hat Certified Engineer exam. This is a much valuable certification in the market. Red Hat Certified Engineer. If you have the certification along with ITL Foundation, 80% of your recruitment is done. Okay, and remain 20% is what you perform in your interview. So please make sure that these trainings, 3 trainings, are very important training, and please get this trained. And in addition to training itself is not enough. Get yourself certified, accredited. That is very important. The logos of ITL, logo of Red Hat will add value to your resume. Okay, so above 5 years, a few of you have registered for the program are already IT, working in IT, and you already crossed that 5-year barrier. So for those people, you can take the master level. Okay, and see, if you have very good digesting capacity, even 0 to 5 year also can do the full program. Okay, these are not very big, tough topics. Okay? See, the master level, what I term is like people above 5 years should definitely take care of the DevOps, because that's a very trendy in the market. So anything on DevOps, provisioning manager, Kubernetes, so these kind of advanced technology, you can do that training. And there's an exam called DevOps Engineer Professional. Please write that exam, add it to your resume. Definitely, as I told you, automation engineer were getting roughly around 7 lakhs, right? 7 lakhs package. So this learning has that level of weightage. Okay, but you cannot become an automation engineer just without having Linux knowledge. So the previous professional basics are mandatory, but you can also rally jump into DevOps. I've seen people without Linux knowledge also getting there, but that's not the right path, but people are doing it. Cloud essentials. Okay, you know, cloud is there for last 10-15 years, and it has evolved, and people are moving towards cloud. So cloud, the very starting step into getting into cloud is getting the cloud essentials training. And cloud essential training is cloud practitioner exam is there. You can take the AWS as a stepping stone, or you can take OpenStack and so on and so forth. But I would say AWS would be an easy thing to start with. But people are taking Google Cloud Platform and Azure, which is also very hot in the market. Okay, and the architect level course on cloud. So you learn more about virtualization, consolidation. So here you have to have that architect level of skills built in, infra as a service and as a service offerings. Okay, OpenStack would be my preferred candidate because you are learning how to build a cloud and how to manage cloud. But if you still feel that you want to do only manage cloud part, you are not a Linux guru, you can take the AWS architect, which is a pretty easy thing than OpenStack. If you're doing OpenStack, you have to get the RHOSP certification, Red Hat OpenStack certified platform, and AWS architect for AWS, and Google GCP, Google Cloud Platform certified for Google, and Azure platform certified for Azure. Okay, so there are different levels of certification. Certification is mandatory. So we are almost reaching to the end because we are almost reaching our time. So let me quickly tell you the interview tips, which is going to be the takeaway, and then we'll quickly jump into the Q&A session, and let me answer some of your queries. Okay, because I'm almost covered the breadth of the knowledge that I'm supposed to share. The last thing is the interview tips. Okay, so you learned, you got certified, but will I get a job? So I'm going to give you some of the tips and tricks. Number one, see, whenever there is a question asked in system administrator, like for example, how will you shut down a server? Don't say shut down. Shut down is the right answer though, but you shouldn't answer in one word. Okay, so that is the reason I asked you to learn the very first training ITL process, because when you are asked a question, you have to always start with the process. So if somebody asks, the standard question asked in a system administrator, if somebody asks you to restart a server or shut down a server, how will you do it? You have to immediately say that as per ITL process, it is a change management. We cannot shut down a production server just like that. So we need to have a change ticket raised. We should take the regular backups. We should make sure all the systems are in place. And if system doesn't come back, how will we restore should be in place. Once the change advisory board approves, then when we have the outage window, then we'll go ahead and shut down the server by using the command shutdown. Saying this answer will get you a job, not just by saying shutdown. So you're getting it right. So this is one of the important tip for getting a job. And when you don't know the right answer also, you can blame the process and you can say that in my company, it is a change management process, it's done by a different team. I don't do shutdown of the system. Shutdown has been taken care by level 2. You can also get a way out of saying that I don't know by saying blaming the process. Okay. And more points are given to the approach, not to the resolution. Okay, why I'm saying this is most of the time we will ask questions like if you forgot the super user password or root password, how will you fix it? So 99% of them, even I would say 100% of them whom I have asked this question, I have always come back saying that the standard root password reset procedure. It's something like I will restart the server, I'll go to single user mode, I will reset the password, I'll come back. Though the resolution is right, that is what is being trained as well, but in real time you're not supposed to do that. Okay, because when you do that, you for a password reset, you are shutting down a production system. Okay, so approach is more important than the resolution. So always keep that in mind and make sure that you're not shutting down the system. You have to find the right answer for this is using a super user privilege of another user to reset the root password, which doesn't even need a restart. Okay, look for the approach, not for the resolution. And when you don't know an answer, please don't say I don't know, and don't say a wrong answer. If you do that, you are might be saying a wrong answer for a question which is asked, and also for answer which is not right for this current question being asked. Right. So in sysadmin side, you will be always given access to the Google, so you can always search in Google and say. So you can tell the interviewer that okay, this particular thing I think we can search in Google, or even Linux has inbuilt man pages. Even you search in Google, Google will get you to the man page. You can tell them that, okay, I'll search in man page for this. If somebody asks you, what is -u in user add? See, we cannot remember all the commands and all the options, right? You should at least say that where it is. That's enough for system. You should say, it is available here. I'll go read that and I'll do it. That's enough. Okay. So man page and ITL process are your savior. And whenever the question is asked, don't directly jump into a technical answer, as I was keep on saying. You can always create a story around. You can say that, yeah, 3 months back or 6 months back, we experienced a similar issue. We had a system crash and how we did this. So add this 2-3 phrases, which will make a kind of a thinking that, oh, this guy has really worked on that particular scenario. Okay. So build that story while answering. So this is one of the important tips that I want to give you. And as I told you, uptime is the priority. What is uptime? Is something like you shouldn't shut down the server. When even the interviewer is trying to push you with a question after question, asking you to shut down the server, you should always make sure that no, I will not shut down the server. I will find some other way to restart without restarting. How will I do it? Or how will I go to your next level, your manager, team lead, to make sure without shutting down how you're going to fix it. Okay, so uptime is the key. Don't think about restarting or shutting down the server in your interview as an. It's a very important tip that I'm going to say. And in interview, if you are asked, are you ready to work 24/7 shift? Please say yes. After joining, you can always say no. But in the interview, that is, they are checking the attitude. So please make sure this is a 100% asked question. Are you ready to work 24/7? Say yes. Once you are in, then you can tell your team lead or your HR that why you cannot work on night shifts or weekends. That is always possible. But in interview, don't say no. Okay. So with that, I think I almost covered the entire session. What I'm supposed to. I'm slightly 2 minutes over the 1 hour window. So I'm open for the Q&A. I hope now we can start your question. Darshana, you have the questions bank you can ask, or you can ask on behalf of the attendees.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session, Vinod.
Yes. So if there are any questions, I'm open. Okay.
Here are some of the questions posted by the attendees. Shall I ask now?
Yeah, please. If attendees are not asking, you can ask. No problem.
Where should I get trained for system administration? Does joining a training institute do good? This is posted by Jishnu.
Yeah. See, I told you, right? The most of the sessions, yeah. So as I told you, most of the questions that you have, I would have answered it part of the agenda itself, because I told you when you are looking for an institute, primarily you will be looking for a particular where will I get lining, yeah. But the look for the trainer, whether the trainer is having a experience as a sysadmin, whether he has had a hands-on experience. Okay, so that's the very first thing that I want you to look at, and then you can join the course. Okay, I'm not saying that all institutes are like that. There are good institutes who can give you real-time experience. They are putting real-time trainers to train, real-time people to come and give the training. So look for the trainer rather than the institute. That's what I would suggest. Sorry, Darshan, I couldn't hear you. Is there a sorry, Darshan, I couldn't hear you. I think you're on mute or.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, you're okay. Go ahead.
Is there any free learning sources and accreditation available? This was a question posted by the attendee.
Okay, can you come over again? I was looking at the chat from another. Yeah, please go ahead, Darshana.
Pardon?
I didn't hear your question. Can you come over again?
Is there any free learning sources and accreditations available?
Yeah, yes. See, there are a lot of free trainings available. Yeah, I would say YouTube is a source where you get a lot of trainings done by instructors, yeah, and experienced people. So you go to YouTube and search. That's one good thing about YouTube is there are a lot of good things and very few bad things. Okay, people hesitate to go towards YouTube, but I'm on YouTube every day and I'm looking at a lot of learning. And my learnings are from YouTube. So YouTube is one of the good source. And there are a lot of, you go to Acclaim and other sources, LinkedIn, they are also giving a lot of trainings and certifications and accreditation. So you can do a lot of from them. Yeah. You can search for free trainings. Udemy also gives free trainings. There are a lot of free trainings. Just go and search in Google about a specific subject. You will definitely find some free trainings there.
The next question is, what is expected from a sysadmin during and after the interview?
Okay. See, as I was telling you on the last portion of the interview questions, the expectation from a sysadmin is he is always making sure uptime. Okay. So he's not making any mistake. He has to just follow the process given to him. He has to make sure he is just following the process. So interviewer also is looking on the same part. Okay. Once after clearing the interview, once you are in the data center or when you are at the on your office, you should also follow the same thing. Okay? There's no difference that what you say answer in interview and what you do at work. There's no difference. You should always make sure the system that you are managing are always maintained and there is no mistakes made. This admins are not bound to make mistakes, though they are making a lot of mistakes. But even though you cannot avoid it, you will encounter a lot of things happening beyond your control. But still, you have to make sure that you follow through that. Yeah, follow the best practice.
Fine. The next question is, every employer asks for experience. Does sysadmin require relevant work experience?
Yeah, wonderful question. This is a very nice question being asked. See, actually, I have told you, right, there are a lot of non-technology background people. Even I have seen people I have hired is from a professor background. So after his college, he tried a lot. He couldn't get a job. Then he joined some training institutes. He learned. He started managing that institute's lab environment and all. And then when he came for interview, so he's a non-techie background guy. Okay, but when we interviewed him, the knowledge that that guy had, okay, but he's not an engineering graduate. His age is around 30 plus, and he's not having a 5 years, 10 years experience relevant to it. But when we are asking a question and the way he was answering, and when we posed him some real-time scenarios, how he was responding, gave us a confidence in hiring him. And in last 3 years, he grew up a level to a tech lead because of his maturity, because of his age, and the knowledge he had. We are considering him like a really a 15-year experience guy's cadre. We are moving him to a tech lead and a service delivery manager role. So experience doesn't matter. Okay, experience is here and not by what you really work daily go to work and make that experience. No, experience is like how you really feel, how the concepts are, how much fundamental knowledge you have. That's what the experience is, not a real experience as such. If you really have it, it's well and good. I think you're on mute, Darshana. We couldn't hear you.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Which is the most demanding skill and why?
Okay, as I told you, cloud is the most demanding at this point. DevOps is most demanding at this point. But learning these two, you can bypass all Linux and get there. But I always advise you go step by step. Without foundation, without fundamentals, learning this advanced concept, you might land up in trouble until you have a very good digesting capacity. But if you ask me what's the need of the hour, it's a cloud and DevOps. If you have the skill, uh, you have a job with good package. Sorry, I didn't. You're on mute.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Deepak Kishore, he wants us to share the video. Yes, Deepak will be sharing it via mail. Next one question was from Manjula. She's from a non-IT background. How much chance is there to get a job, and whether it will affect her? Affect her package.
Okay. See, as I told you, I don't know what non-IT background you have. See, normally there are some criteria, right? When we are hiring, HR has some criteria. It's not that we have a criteria. HR has a criteria that what your educational background is. For example, are you from engineering background or a non-engineering background? And what is your relevant experience prior? Whether you are coming from a technical background or non-technical. So based on that, your package might be slightly less. Okay, when you are starting up, your salary will be less. But as I told you one example prior, that when we hired a professor who come from a college, in the initial 1 year, the amount of skill that he has displayed, the amount of work he has showcased, has brought him to a service delivery manager level. It's only because of his experience. Now his package is 3 or 4 times what he has been hired 2 years back. Okay, so when you are starting up, definitely these things will affect your package, but you really showcase your metal, you will definitely have a different package and you will be on par with the other team members of your experience. Okay, so don't worry now. Getting a job is important. Get an IT entry. IT is a paymaster. You will definitely get paid off. You have to showcase yourself.
And one question from Manoj. Does international certifications add value during interviews?
Yes, definitely, Manoj. As I was keep telling you, there are some certification like Red Hat certification, AWS certification, Google Cloud certification. So these have international credibility. Okay. So when you add this logo, there is something called verification link, which can also be embedded part of the logo in your resume, or you can put a link, hyperlink on your resume, so that when they click on it, it will take the interviewer to that verification site, and it will tell you whether Vinod or Manoj or Kishore is currently certified on this particular, and what is the validity of the certification as well. So that is something like somebody else like Red Hat or IBM or AWS is giving credibility for your skills. So they have tested your skills and they are giving you the logo. But definitely, as I told you, 60 to 90% weightage comes when you get the certification, and 10-20% on the interview how you perform.
Next, Deepak Kishore. He's from IT background, but he'd like to get upgraded. He's asking, he's into one domain, how he can be shifted to another domain.
Okay. As far as when you say in administrator itself, there are different domains, as I told you, right? There's a operating system, database, network, security, cloud. So there are different domains. Okay. So there are when you say infra and cloud, they are interdependent. Okay. If you are from another domain, say the domain is something like when you say banking domain, manufacturing domain. If that is what you are trying to say, then coming from that different domain is something like you're coming from a different technology. Okay, so from different thing. What I'm saying is all technology level. From one technology to another technology, once you know the basics, once you have a right mentor, you will definitely get there. But when you're coming from different domain experience is something different. Okay, domain experience is something like how the system works or how that company works is what the domain experience is. Where we'll say one example would be like if you're working on a ship, we will be not be calling users, we'll be calling them crews, right? When you're working in a hospital or pharma, we'll call them nurse, doctors. So the domain
Into
experience is more of that.
administrator domain.
Yes, you were saying something.
Yeah, Deepak, he's into administration domain.
Oh, the system
He's
administrator.
learning
Oh,
cloud.
oh, wonderful. See, as a system administrator, learning cloud is pretty easier. Okay, you already worked on hardware, operating systems. So cloud is something like is a group of hardware, group of operating systems put together. It's a collective thing on a internet, right? Cloud is as a service. So you might be learning AWS, Azure, or OpenStack, whatever cloud you're learning. It's pretty easy once you correlate your knowledge that you gained on system administrator, apply that to what you're learning today. You will find that more similarities would be there. Learn only the small differences. You will become a AWS or cloud administrator.
He's saying he's a middleware admin.
Oh, okay. So you're a middleware admin. So now you have to have from some foundational knowledge on system administrator. Because see, as far as administration is concerned, see, 40-50% are common, right? Remaining 50% you are just going to learn the technology. It will not be a big deal as such. Learning Unix and learning cloud is pretty easier. You need not worry. I think you are already crossed 50% of the well as a middleware administrator. So it will be pretty easy for you to leave the next 50% of.
Next question is from Krishna. Is good coding skills enough to get a decent job in IT for someone who doesn't have an IT background?
Okay. If you are a coding guy, right? So that's a lot of thing. Even system administrator itself, we have a lot of automation thing. When I say Unix, there's one area that I've not touched is Unix scripting. Yeah, Unix shell scripting is there. In when I said DevOps, there's Ansible scripting is there. Puppet Chef, like automation stuffs are there. So for you, that would be a very good entry point because you're not having that Linux background, but with some basic coding experience, you can just upskill on the DevOps side and see that whether you can easily do it, because DevOps is not a huge coding like what Java.NET and all. It's pretty simple coding, like as if like you say key value pairs. You say that city and Delhi. So it's just you are saying the keys and values. That level of coding is there on the DevOps. Pretty easy to start off with. You can try the DevOps course. Just click on YouTube and see how Ansible works or how Docker works. You'll see that it's pretty easy for you to pick it up.
Any more questions?
I think we are getting a lot of good questions from people. Nice to hear.
Thank you so much for the valuable session, Vinod. We are nearing the end of the webinar. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
We'll be for the attendees, we'll be sending you a feedback from via mail. So do fill the form so that we can understand your requirements and queries and everything. And if you have any more questions or doubts on anything, you can very well get back to us via Technito in LinkedIn, WhatsApp, or mail or anything. So thank you so much for spending your valuable time for this webinar. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you.